Hey guys, today I'm making a way different video than usual. Usually it's very scripted. Usually I have like a lot of cool editing, have a lot of interviews, but today it's going to be about me, which is something I've actually never done before. First of all, my name is Theodor. I am 22 years old and I'm from Denmark. A lot of people think I'm not from Denmark because of my accent, but the reason why I speak English like this is literally just because of video games. Like there's nothing else crazy to it. I just decided to play a lot of video games with Americans and I just picked up the accent from just playing with them. So like a lot of you probably know, I've been making videos for about 3 years now. I actually started on Facebook by only covering the Syrian civil war, which is also what inspired me to start in the first place, because I saw how the Western media was really misportraying this situation in Syria as something else than it was entirely, which I'm sure you're probably aware of now watching my videos. And it really started by that. Then I moved in and made the quite famous videos now with Rasmus Paludan before he got famous. Everybody obviously knows his story now. So one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is, where do I actually stand politically? And where I stand politically is definitely not within the normal left-right spectrum. I would probably describe myself in a lot of ways as very much to the left when it comes to economic things. I'm not a big fan of the current capitalist system by any stretch of the imagination. But on other topics such as immigration and free speech, I am far more on what you'd describe as the traditional right, which is I'm against like mass immigration and I'm definitely for free speech. I don't think you should go to jail. I don't think you should be punished for saying something that other people are offended by. So obviously politically I'm not really within the normal left-right spectrum. Also when it comes to foreign policy, I'm definitely far more aligned with the normal left, which means I'm not a big fan of American imperialism, I'm not a big fan of pointless foreign wars, but that doesn't really matter to me because I don't really identify with any group, to be quite honest with you. But at the same time I really try to not let my politics completely influence the topics that I cover, because I also just really try to cover topics that the mainstream media just isn't really interested in. Whether or not that really fits my own political agenda or not is less of an issue, because at the end of the day I'm after like something that's actually true. And you know, maybe I'm wrong about something. I've had a lot of political opinions in the past that I'm not afraid to like admit that I don't have those opinions today at all. So obviously I've been wrong about a bunch of shit before in my opinion, and I'll probably be wrong about a bunch of things in the future. That's just how life is, and I think I'm adult enough to admit that. Another question that I'm sure a bunch of you have probably had is, have I like had any consequences from what I've done? I mean, a lot of my videos have gotten a lot of views by Danish standards. Like I think one of them has like 400,000, another has 250,000, 300,000, got a Vice article, some different things. And trust me, that's not something to be proud of, I might add. But obviously that has had a bunch of consequences for me. For example, when I was in high school, a bunch of my videos were blowing up. That includes the second video with Rasmus Paludan and like the one from the feminist march, for example. And because of that, I had a bunch of people go over to me like saying shit like, oh, you get beat up. Like literally inside of my high school, just straight up going over and saying stuff like that. I've been like confronted by a bunch of like wannabe tough guys in the street a bunch of times, but they've never done anything. Like literally, I've never been hurt from anything I've ever done. They've only really ever been able to do the same stuff as they do on camera, which is like threaten you in a really like unconvincing way. And that's literally it. It doesn't really get much more spooky than that. And also because I was economically down on my luck in 2020, I was working as a facer for UNICEF, which basically means I'm going around asking like, hey man, you got $5 for children in Africa? But because I was like constantly out in the open there, asking people, a lot of people recognized me, and that included like, I think some people from like Antifa or some bullshit like that. They wrote the people who were like running UNICEF in Denmark, and that probably played into me getting fired 2 days before I was actually quitting. Like I'd already like sent my like resignation and everything, and then like 2 days before, because of some like utterly obscure bullshit, they fire me. So definitely that played into it. There's also been this very strange Arab man who went to my high school, which was basically a high school for like people who only wanted to do their high school in 2 years instead of 3 years. And because of that, there was a bunch of people who was quite older. And this one Arab dude literally like came over to me like 2 times. One time he was like, hey man, if I knew that you were doing these videos back then, we would have beat you up, me and the boys. And obviously he's never actually beaten me up, as always, you know, it's empty threats. And this other time he came over to me. I was working in UNICEF, like wanting to show the other people that, you know, I was working with there, look at this man, he's the biggest racist in Denmark, or some shit like that, showing my videos. It was really fucking kooky. So I've had crazy stuff like that happen. I think one time also Antifa, they like came to my home and put some stickers out front, and you know, stuff like that. So I have definitely had like some different confrontations there. Nothing has ever really been that crazy. One really funny story that I have though is like when I was like literally at my old high school, which is the Free Gymnasium, which is here in Denmark known as a very like new left school. There's like graffiti everywhere, stuff like this. And when I was like in there at like a party, you know, I wasn't going to the school anymore. I was there with a Muslim, a Jew, and a black girl. And I was told by a bunch of little white kids that I have to leave because I'm an evil racist. And then I think the black girl knew like the drug dealer, which was hanging out outside the school, and he like basically broke up the fight. So obviously I've had some different things go on there, but I definitely in no way regret making these videos because like most of my friends nowadays, everything basically comes from things that I've created myself, including these videos. So I'm really satisfied in that way with actually what I've been doing, which is also why I'm now deciding to make it my profession. Outside of making videos, my interests have kind of been making music. Both of my parents are musicians, so I've always been into like artistic stuff like that. And other than that, like I've just basically been enjoying going out in nature, stuff like that. I've never been that much into materialist stuff, which maybe you'll notice in my shirt. I'm not wearing like Gucci or Adidas. Adidas isn't really a brand in that way, but you know stuff like that. I've never been wearing like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, stuff like that. I've never been interested in anything like that. Musically, I really enjoy folk music and a lot of Latin American music because I've spent over a year in Colombia, which I'll probably say a bunch of times until I get to say I've spent the rest of my life there, which is probably inevitably happening at some point because let me tell you, that shit is cheap and nice. I highly recommend you guys going there, but not too many of you. Don't ruin it for me, all right? It's my place. Colombia's my place. You go Mexico or something, I don't know, Argentina, I hear it's cheaper this time of year. So YouTubers that I've been like inspired by, not really any necessarily, but I mean, in like the start when it came to like, you know, the videos with Rasmus Paludan and whatnot, I was definitely watching the whole like liberals get owned type videos back then, which were of course like funny and stuff like that. I'm not gonna deny that, but I was never really trying to make that. I was genuinely just trying to go in there and like get some answers, make some interesting videos, but it always just devolved into like pseudo-degenerate violence, which of course really was showing and telling. I mean, it worked as well because I was trying to tell the story, and if the story decided to be like that, then that's not on me, you know, like that's just on the story, that's on the people that I were covering, you know? I never go into anywhere ever like trying to harass someone, bother someone, which you'll always see in my videos. There's always somebody who comes over, you're harassing somebody, you're bothering somebody. Am I ever actually bothering anybody? No, I'm not that type of person. I don't like bothering anyone. I'm actually a pretty chill guy if you know me in real life. Like, I don't bother people. I'm not like antisocial, anything like that. I ask some pretty tough questions when I'm making videos, but that's entirely up to the people who I interview if they want to answer those, and it's their own fault that like they're coming in that situation because they decide to go to protests, they decide to like show that they have a political stance, and then they also got to expect to be like confronted with another political stance. That's just how this society works, or at least how they claim it works. You know, like one thing is what the media tells you, oh, we're such a nice, like pluralistic, beautiful society, yada 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 yada. But the minute that you say anything that's wrong thing, you go to jail and the media won't talk about it. It's as simple as that. I'm sure a lot of like North Koreans think that their society is like beautiful and nice and the greatest on earth. There's always like a lot of people that believes that because at the end of the day, whoever runs the media, you'll be able to control basically what 99% of people think, because most people at the end of the day don't really know that much more about politics than what they hear on social media. Nowadays, especially in the last 5 to 10 years, especially after Donald Trump was elected, the media has really realized like how powerful alternative media is. So they're trying to shut that shit down in any way they can in cooperation with the elites and the government. More about myself. I mean, a lot of people think, again, like I'm not Danish, but really both of my parents like speak Danish as their first languages. I think my dad's family is like some really weird mixture of some different things, but I'm not too close with them, and I've never really gotten a concrete answer, so I can't really tell you that much about that. I actually don't know, but someday I'm doing one of those like genetics tests, like 21andMe, Hallup Group, whatever the hell tests. Let's see how much Mediterranean I am. I'm like counting on at least like 5% sub-Saharan. Otherwise, I'm gonna be pissed. Does that mean I can I say the forbidden word or not? I think my girlfriend is like a couple of percent. What do you say? Am I allowed?
I don't think so.
No. Oh well, such is life. I definitely want to do more stuff internationally, which is where I think, or at least hope, that I'll blow up in some type of way. First, I really want to go and do stuff in Colombia because it's a country that is like terribly underreported and basically only known for like two things, which is like rappers who glorify it because of cocaine and stuff like that, and like salsa. But it's so much more. It's like a really interesting country, like the rest of South America is, who I really think deserves more time in the spotlight, and I'll try to provide it that and really like tell some interesting stories about this incredibly interesting country and the rest of the world. And speaking of the rest of the world, I really also want to go to Al-Sham, Syria, the wonderful country that everybody seems to sadly be leaving at the moment for reasons I've definitely already gotten into and that I'll probably keep talking about because I think it's really interesting and ties into a lot of things going on in the world right now. God damn it. I really want to spend a couple of weeks or maybe even a month there telling some different stories with some different people that you definitely have not heard in any sort of English-speaking media. I really want to go down and tell those stories for people because I think they're worth being heard, and I think there's some really interesting and wonderful people down there who are suffering for completely avoidable reasons. So of course, like in a year from now, I'm definitely hoping that I'll have like way more subscribers, way more everything, because otherwise I'm obviously doing something wrong since I'm trying to do this full time. And if I haven't gotten anywhere in a year, like something's obviously going wrong, and I should probably rethink what the hell I'm doing. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'll stop doing stuff on video, but maybe it's going to be in another way. Who knows? Only time can tell, and only the YouTube algorithm really decides that at the end of the day, doesn't it? So I really hope my video has cleared some things up, and maybe like you've learned a thing or two about me that you've maybe been wondering throughout all these videos. And secondly, I hope that you're excited to really see what I'm doing in the future, because I'm genuinely excited. Like, I don't even know myself yet. I have a lot of like notes and plans, but I really hope it'll play out in a way that's obviously beneficial and really interesting. So I guess that was kind of it for today, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for your support generally. Thank you so much for your comments. You don't know how much it means to me when you actually write, like, this is a really interesting video. I really love this. Wow, this guy's like really on the right track, etc. It really like makes what I'm doing worth it. Other than that, you can't actually now give me money because I am starting a Patreon. You can give me like literally basically any amount you want. That would mean a lot to me. Like, it would definitely help me with the rent. It would help me, for example, buy a new computer. I am currently trying to get a new portable computer so I can edit videos while also traveling. That's why I haven't made that many videos generally. Like, there's like a big gap you've probably noticed between like my like videos, and that's because I'm usually out traveling, doing different things, and during that period I just don't have access to anything where I can really make videos. There's been a lot of times where I wanted to make a video, but I haven't. So I really want to get a new computer, and if you want to help me out doing that, that would mean so much to me, because I know at least there's one rich guy watching this video. There's at least one of you out there watching this video who has some money. Give it to me. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys. There's definitely gonna come a lot more. I'm gonna try to like keep it weekly where something is gonna come up, and I just want to say I love you all. Thank you so much for your support throughout these years. The real story is beginning now. Like, dead serious. Now is my time. It better be. You listen to me. It better be my time right now. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching.